The day had begun like any other aboard the research station Odyssey, the last human outpost on the edge of the galaxy. The station orbited an uncharted planet, rich with a mysterious energy that baffled the scientific community. Its shimmering surface, covered in crystalline structures, was unlike anything humanity had encountered before. Dr. Amara Hale, one of Earth's leading xenobiologists, was deep into her morning routine, studying the planet's unique ecosystem when the station's alarms erupted. Captain Desmond Kane, the commander of the Odyssey, immediately rushed to the bridge. The station's sensors had detected an anomaly. A massive object was approaching the planet at speeds that defied known propulsion technology. "What in the world is that?" Kane muttered, staring at the screen in disbelief. Hovering silently in the void of space was a colossal alien vessel. Its design was otherworldly, unlike anything humans had ever seen, with shifting shapes and pulsating colors that seemed to defy physics. The crew gathered in awe, their faces lit by the strange glow of the ship. For decades, humans had been told they were alone in this part of the galaxy. Now they stood face to face with something entirely unknown. "Prepare first contact protocols," Kane ordered, his voice steady but filled with urgency. The crew began transmitting standard greetings in multiple languages, hoping for a response. They didn't have to wait long. A deep resonance vibrated through the station. The alien vessel communicated not through words but through harmonic frequencies that resonated within the minds of the crew. This is incredible," Amara whispered, her heart racing. "They're not just speaking to us. They're connecting with us on an entirely different level." As the vibrations settled, a message became clear. The aliens, who called themselves the Caesari, had been observing humanity for centuries, watching as they expanded across the stars. They had come not as invaders, but as seekers, searching for something only humans could offer. The crew was stunned. After all this time, humanity was not just a myth to these beings. They were the key to something far greater. As the alien ship docked with the Odyssey, Captain Kane and Dr. Amara were chosen to lead the first meeting with the Caesari. Stepping through the airlock, they were greeted by towering figures draped in robes made of light itself. Their faces were featureless, but their presence exuded an ancient wisdom and calmness that put the humans at ease. "We have studied your kind," one of the Caesari communicated through a gentle vibration that filled the room. "You are more than you seem. There is a dormant potential within humanity, a force that could change the course of the galaxy." Amara, fascinated, asked, "What do you mean by dormant potential? We've always believed we were just beginning to understand the universe." The Caesari responded with a hum that resonated deep within Amara's mind. "Long ago, your ancestors possessed abilities that defied the laws of the universe, energies that could shape reality itself. These abilities have since faded, but the potential remains within every human." The room fell silent. Amara and Kane exchanged glances, their minds racing. Was it possible? Could humanity possess some hidden power that they had long forgotten? The Caesari explained that they had come to guide humanity in unlocking this potential, but there was a challenge. Something ancient and dark was stirring at the edge of the galaxy, something that sought to consume all life, including the Caesari. "We cannot face this alone," the Caesari hummed. "Only together can we stop this force. You humans are the key." Days passed in a whirlwind of activity. The Caesari shared their knowledge, revealing ancient techniques and forgotten sciences that allowed the crew of the Odyssey to unlock dormant abilities. Amara, along with a handful of other specially selected humans, underwent intensive training. At first, it seemed impossible. These teachings were beyond human understanding. But slowly, they began to feel something shift within them. Amara was the first to experience the awakening. During a session with the Caesari, she felt a surge of energy within her body, as though the universe itself was flowing through her veins. Her mind expanded, allowing her to see patterns in the energy fields that surrounded the station, the planet, and even the alien ship. It was as if she had gained a sixth sense, one that could tap into the very fabric of reality. "I can feel it," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. "It's like I can control the energy around us." The Caesari watched with approval. "You are beginning to understand. This is only the beginning. Once fully awakened, your kind will be able to bend the forces of the universe itself." As the other humans followed suit, they too began unlocking new abilities. Some could manipulate gravity, others could control energy, while a few developed telepathic connections with the Caesari. Humanity was transforming before their very eyes. Even as humanity's newfound powers grew, the looming threat of an ancient force became undeniable. The Caesari, with their deep connection to the universe, sensed it first, a distant, consuming presence that sent ripples through the very fabric of space. The Dark Echo, an entity that had long been regarded as a myth, was no longer a mere story. It was real, and it was moving toward them with a relentless hunger. This entity had devoured entire star systems, leaving nothing in its wake but void. Now it was drawn to the unique energies that humanity had awakened on this distant planet. The Caesari's warning was stark. This being was not just a creature, but a force of cosmic destruction, capable of corrupting reality itself. They had faced many threats in their long history, but the Dark Echo was unlike anything they had ever encountered. On the Odyssey *, Captain Kane stood grim-faced at the helm, surveying the vastness of space. The quiet serenity of the stars felt deceptive, as if hiding the monstrous force that was rapidly approaching. "We faced long odds before," he said, his voice steady despite the weight of the situation. "But this is something else. We need to prepare. Whatever the Dark Echo is, it's coming for us, and we won't be caught off guard." The station bustled with activity. The crew, under Kane's command, worked tirelessly to reinforce the station's defenses, integrating the advanced Caesari technology into their systems. The fusion of human ingenuity with alien knowledge created something new, something powerful. Massive energy shields were erected around the station, capable of withstanding even the most ferocious of attacks. Advanced weapon systems, enhanced by the Caesari's centuries of warfare experience, hummed with readiness. Yet the threat they faced was not just a physical one. In the training halls, Amara and the other gifted humans were pushing their abilities to the absolute limit. The energy within them burned brighter with each passing day, but so did the oppressive feeling of the Dark Echo's approach. It was like a shadow creeping over the horizon, growing stronger and more malevolent with each moment. Amara could feel it, an all-consuming presence, cold and unyielding. It was terrifying, but she refused to give in to fear. "The Dark Echo is close," one of the Caesari elders said in a hushed tone, addressing Amara and the others. "It is a force that does not simply destroy. It corrupts. It feeds on energy, life, and even hope. If we are to stop it, we must combine our strengths. Alone, we are vulnerable. Together, we may stand a chance." Amara's heart raced. She knew what was at stake. Humanity had come too far, had fought too hard, to fall now. She looked around at the others, seeing the same determination reflected in their eyes. They were scared, yes, but they were also ready. They had something the Dark Echo could never understand: hope, courage, and the unbreakable will to survive. As the days passed, the sky above the planet began to change. Strange distortions appeared at the edge of the system, warping light and space as the Dark Echo neared. The Caesari had prepared them for this moment, but nothing could fully describe the terror of seeing it with their own eyes. The Dark Echo was not just a ship or a fleet. It was a living void, a swirling mass of darkness that devoured everything in its path. Captain Kane gathered the crew in the command center. "This is it," he said, looking each of them in the eye. "The Dark Echo is almost upon us. We're going to fight, but remember this: we're not just defending ourselves. We're fighting for every person back on Earth, for humanity's future. We faced impossible odds before. We'll face them again." Amara, standing beside Kane, felt the weight of his words. The burden of responsibility was heavy, but it also fueled her resolve. She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind, sensing the presence of her fellow gifted humans. They were ready. The Caesari were ready. Together, they would fight not just with weapons, but with the very essence of life itself. The Dark Echo was unlike anything she had ever felt. It wasn't just a threat. It was an abyss, a void that sucked in energy, light, and even thought. Its hunger was insatiable, and its power seemed endless. But Amara had learned something in her training. The dark echo could consume energy, but it couldn't consume hope. It couldn't consume the strength of life itself. As the dark echo crossed into the outer reaches of the system, its presence sent shockwaves through the space around them. The station's shields flickered and groaned under the sheer pressure of its arrival. Amara felt a chill run down her spine. This was the moment they had trained for. All stations, prepare for battle. Kane's voice rang out across the comms, calm but commanding. The ship trembled as the dark echo unleashed its first assault. Tendrils of dark energy lashed out from its core, wrapping around the station's shields. The crew worked frantically, diverting power to hold the shields in place. But even the Caesari-enhanced defenses were struggling against the overwhelming force. "We need to hit it back," Kane ordered. "Fire everything we've got." Beams of light erupted from the Odyssey, cutting through space and slamming into the dark echo's mass. But as the beams hit, they were absorbed, disappearing into the void as if they had never existed. "It's no good," one of the tactical officers reported. "Our weapons aren't having any effect." Kane gritted his teeth. "Then we'll have to do this the hard way." Amara stepped forward, feeling the energy within her surge. The Caesari stood beside her, their presence a comforting strength. Together, they would face this ancient evil head-on. The dark echo may have been powerful, but it had never faced the combined force of humanity and the Caesari before. As the station shook under the relentless onslaught, Amara reached deep within herself, calling on the energy that flowed through her. The others did the same, their collective power creating a brilliant web of light that pulsed with life. This was the moment of truth. Humanity was no longer a myth, no longer a forgotten race on the edge of the galaxy. They were a force unstoppable. The Odyssey floated in the cold darkness of space, now transformed into a hybrid vessel, its hull shimmering with alien technology. The Caesari had done all they could to prepare humanity, but the true test was fast approaching. On the horizon of the star system, the dark echo finally appeared, a massive black void, swallowing light and distorting space around it. It moved like a living shadow, a force that defied comprehension. Captain Kane stood on the bridge, watching the dark mass approach through the station's viewport. His face was grim, but his resolve was unwavering. "This is it," he said quietly to himself. Then, more firmly, "All stations report in. Ready the defense grid." The crew's voices crackled over the comms, each person prepared for what would be the most significant battle in human history. Amara stood beside him, her heart pounding. She could feel the energy within her surging, a wild current she could barely control. The Caesari had taught her how to channel it, but now it was time to put everything into practice. The dark echo drew nearer, its sheer size now clear to everyone aboard. It was vast, a living entity that consumed everything in its path. The Caesari had described it as a force older than time itself, a being that had been traveling the cosmos for eons, devouring all forms of energy, life, and matter. "They're in position," Kane said, his hands hovering over the controls. "Let's show this thing what humanity is made of." The first volley of energy pulses launched from the Odyssey, beams of concentrated power enhanced by the Caesari's technology. The station's weaponry, once primitive compared to alien standards, now glowed with a radiant force, cutting through space like spears of light. But as the beams hit the surface of the dark echo, they simply disappeared, swallowed by the void. "That's not good," Kane muttered, his jaw tightening. "Amara, we need something more. We can't fight this thing with conventional weapons." Amara nodded. "It's time." She turned toward the Caesari, who floated serenely beside her. "We need to combine our powers. Alone, we don't stand a chance. But together, maybe we can break through its defenses." The Caesari emitted a harmonious hum of agreement. The dark echo consumes energy, but it cannot absorb that which comes from within, the power of life itself. This is what you must tap into. Closing her eyes, Amara focused on the energy coursing through her body. She could feel the presence of the other awakened humans around the station, their minds connected by the Kisari's teachings. Slowly, she began to gather the energy, pulling it inward, letting it build until it became a storm within her. The others joined her, their combined power creating a web of light that pulsed through the station. The Odyssey began to glow, the ship itself becoming a beacon of pure energy. Amara felt her mind expand as she connected with the Kisari, their ancient wisdom flowing through her. Together, they formed a singular force, a brilliant radiance that pushed back against the darkness. Now, Kane shouted as the dark echo loomed ever closer, its tendrils of shadow reaching out to engulf the station. Amara unleashed the energy. It shot from the Odyssey like a massive wave of light, a pulse of raw life force that surged through space toward the dark echo. The shadows recoiled, writhing in agony as the beam of energy pierced its core. For a moment, it seemed as though the battle had been won. The dark echo shuddered, its mass collapsing inward as if it were being consumed by its own hunger. But then, with a deafening roar, it lashed out, sending shockwaves of dark energy crashing into the station. The force was immense. The Odyssey shook violently, alarms blaring as systems began to fail. Kane grabbed the controls, trying to stabilize the ship. "Hold on, we're not done yet." Amara stumbled, the energy within her flickering as the dark echo's corruption tried to seep into her mind. She could feel its malevolence, a cold, empty hunger that threatened to overwhelm her, but she wouldn't give in. Drawing on the connection with the Kisari and the other humans, she pushed back, reigniting the energy within her. "We need more," she shouted, her voice strained. "We have to hit it again and harder." The Kisari, sensing the desperation, joined their power with the humans once more. This time, they combined their knowledge of the cosmos with humanity's raw potential, creating a new force, one that resonated with both life and the very fabric of the universe. Amara felt the change immediately. This energy was different, more refined, more focused. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a force of creation. Together, they directed this new energy at the heart of the dark echo. The beam struck true, piercing the void with a brightness that outshone the stars. The dark echo screeched, its form disintegrating as the light consumed it from within. Slowly, the massive shadow began to fade, shrinking into nothingness as the energy tore it apart. Then, with a final flash, the dark echo was gone. Silence filled the void. The crew of the Odyssey let out a collective breath, the tension slowly dissipating as they realized they had won. The dark echo had been defeated, its ancient malevolence erased from existence. Captain Kane slumped into his chair, exhausted but relieved. "We did it," he said, his voice hoarse. "We actually did it." Amara, still glowing with the remnants of the energy, smiled weakly. "Not just us," she said, looking at the Kisari. "We couldn't have done this alone." The Kisari hummed in agreement. "You are right, but know this, humans, this is only the beginning. You have unlocked a power that will change the course of your future, but with it comes responsibility. The universe is vast, and many dangers still lie ahead." Kane stood, looking out at the now calm void of space. "We'll be ready," he said, determination in his voice. "Whatever comes next, humanity will face it head on." Amara nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride and hope. Humanity had proved itself, not just to the Kisari, but to the entire galaxy. They were no longer a myth. They were a force to be reckoned with. But as they celebrated their victory, Amara couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the first step. Something told her that their journey was far from over. The Odyssey floated in the stillness of space, its crew basking in the hard-won silence after the battle with the dark echo. The once looming force of destruction had been vanquished, leaving only the soft glow of distant stars as the ship gently drifted. But amid the victory, a sense of unease lingered. Captain Kane stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the view outside. It was over, but the Caesari's warning echoed in his mind. Humanity had unlocked a new power, but what would it mean for their future? Report. Kane called out. Status on all systems. His crew responded swiftly. Shields holding, though they've taken significant damage. Engines are operational but strained. We'll need to dock for repairs soon, sir, Lieutenant Reyes replied. Amara sat at her station, her mind still buzzing with the lingering energy she had wielded during the battle. She could feel it, still pulsing within her, like a quiet storm waiting to be unleashed again. Her newfound abilities both thrilled and terrified her. The Caesari had given them knowledge beyond anything she could have imagined, but with it came an unshakable responsibility. Beside her, the Caesari emissary floated serenely, its glowing form dimmed slightly, as if it too was exhausted from the confrontation. It spoke, its voice a soft hum vibrating through the ship. You have done well, humans. The dark echo is no more, but the power you now wield, beware how it is used. Others in the galaxy will sense it. Not all will greet you as allies. Amara frowned. What do you mean? We just saved ourselves from an ancient threat. Shouldn't that be enough? The Caesari's form flickered, its many eyes focused on her. The universe does not function on balance alone. Power invites challenge. Conflict is drawn to it, just as the dark echo was drawn to your system. Your journey is not over. It has only begun. Kane's brow furrowed. Are you saying there are more threats like the dark echo? The Caesari tilted its head. No, the dark echo was unique, but the galaxy is vast, and many beings seek power. Now, your energy, your potential, burns brighter than it ever has before. It will draw attention. Some will come to learn from you, others to destroy you. Amara leaned back in her seat, feeling the weight of the words settle over her. They had fought so hard to defeat the dark echo, but instead of feeling like they'd reached the end of a journey, it felt like the opening of a much larger one. Captain, we've picked up something. One of the crew members at the sensor station called out. Kane turned sharply. What is it? A transmission. Encrypted. It's faint, but it's coming from deep space. Coordinates are outside any known galactic territory. Can you decrypt it? Kane asked. The crewman worked quickly, fingers dancing over the controls. Working on it, sir. It's a complex code, nothing like we've seen before. The Caesari hummed thoughtfully. This could be what I warned you of. The galaxy is responding. Others are now aware of your presence. Kane's eyes narrowed. Put it on screen when you're ready. Amara focused on the energy within her, trying to calm the swirling storm of power. If the dark echo had been just the beginning, she needed to be ready. They all did. The screen flickered to life, revealing a symbol. It was unfamiliar. An intricate, glowing emblem of interwoven lines and shapes that radiated power and mystery. Then, a voice spoke, cold and calculating, in a language they didn't recognize. The Caesari translated for them. Greetings, unknown beings. We are the Talarax, keepers of the flame. Your recent display of energy has not gone unnoticed. You have opened a doorway to forces you do not yet comprehend. We are coming to you. Prepare yourselves. Kane's heart sank. Talarax? Never heard of them, he muttered. Sari, who are they? The emissary's glow dimmed further. They are old, even by our standards. They seek to control the fundamental forces of the universe, the very powers you now possess. For millennia, they have remained distant, observing. But now, your awakening has caught their attention. Amara's hands clenched into fists. What do they want? Control. The Talarax believe that only they should wield the power you now possess. If they cannot control it, they will destroy it. Kane's face darkened. So we're heading straight into another conflict. The Caesari nodded. Yes, but this will be different from the Dark Echo. The Talarax are not mindless forces of destruction. They are intelligent, calculating. They will test you, push you to your limits. But they are not invincible. Amara felt a surge of determination. We've faced the impossible before. We'll face it again. Humanity's never backed down from a fight. The Kisari regarded her silently, then spoke. Indeed, but remember, power is not always the path to victory. Sometimes wisdom is needed to win battles where force will fail. Captain Kane stared at the mysterious transmission on the screen, his mind racing. The dark echo was gone, but this new threat loomed. They had to be prepared. But how could they fight an enemy that sought not just their destruction, but to claim the very power they had only just discovered? Amara, we'll need you and the others to continue training. We don't know what these Talraks will bring, but we can't afford to be caught off guard. Amara nodded. We'll be ready, Captain. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. The Kesari hummed in agreement. Yes, together. But remember, humanity's greatest strength is not its weapons, but its spirit. You are a force unstoppable, because you are more than just energy. You are life. The transmission cut out, leaving the bridge in silence. Captain Kane turned to his crew. This isn't over. We prepare for the Talraks, but we don't forget who we are. Humanity didn't survive this long just to become someone else's pawn. Amara felt a spark within her, a quiet resolve. The dark echo had been their trial by fire, but now something even greater lay ahead, and whatever it was, humanity would face it together. The Odyssey glided through the vastness of space, a beacon of resilience and hope. After the intense confrontation with the dark echo and the chilling warning from the Talraks, the crew had settled into a new routine, their focus sharpened, their spirits high. The battle had not just transformed their ship, but had also ignited a fire within humanity itself, a fire that could not be extinguished. Captain Kane stood at the helm, gazing out at the endless cosmos, the stars shining like distant beacons of possibility. The knowledge that their energy now drew the attention of ancient forces hung over him, but he felt a sense of calm amidst the storm. They had faced darkness and emerged victorious. There was no reason to believe they wouldn't do so again. Amara, now a central figure among her crew, had embraced her role as a leader. Under the guidance of the Kesari, she had honed her abilities, learning to channel the vast energies within her with greater precision. Every day brought new challenges, but she met them with determination, her connection to both humanity and the Kesari deepening. In the training chamber aboard the Odyssey, she stood surrounded by her fellow humans, all focused on honing their newfound powers. Together, they practiced, their energies intertwining, forming a vibrant web of light. Each pulse of energy was a testament to their growth, their unity. Amara could feel the collective strength swelling around her, an unstoppable force that had been forged in the crucible of battle. As they trained, the Kesari watched over them, guiding their efforts with ancient wisdom. One of the Kesari approached Amara, its form glowing softly. You are becoming more attuned to the energies of the universe, Amara. Your understanding deepens, but remember, power must be tempered with wisdom. The Talraks will challenge your very nature. Amara nodded, her determination unwavering. We'll face whatever they bring. Together, we've already proven we can overcome the impossible. The Kesari emitted a soft hum of approval. Indeed, but there will be sacrifices, choices that will define your journey. Hold fast to your spirit, for it is the greatest weapon you possess. As the days turned into weeks, the crew prepared for the arrival of the Talraks, studying their newfound powers and strategizing how best to confront the enigmatic beings. They shared stories of past struggles, hopes for the future, and the belief that they were not alone in this fight. The bond among the crew grew stronger, forged in shared experiences and a common purpose. Then, one day, the sensors blared to life, and the ship's crew assembled on the bridge, hearts racing. Incoming ship. Unidentified vessels on approach. Lieutenant Rice shouted. Kane's expression hardened as he studied the readouts. Are they hostile? The Kesari's voice, calm and steady, interrupted. They are not attacking. The Talraks have come. The screen displayed the incoming ships, sleek, elegant vessels that shimmered in the starlight, each one a marvel of technology and design. They bore the emblem of the Talraks, a radiant symbol that glowed ominously. Prepare for contact, Kane commanded, his voice firm. "Let's see what they want." The ships moved gracefully, surrounding the Odyssey in a show of strength. Moments later, a transmission crackled through the comm system, and the cold voice of the Talrax echoed in the ship. "Humans, we have come to assess your abilities to see if you are worthy of the powers you now wield. You have drawn our attention, and we will determine your fate." Kane steeled himself, his resolve unyielding. "We are ready to stand our ground. But know this: humanity will not bow to tyranny or fear. We will fight for our place in this universe." Amara stepped forward, her heart racing with adrenaline. "You may have power, but we have something deeper. We are more than a force. We are life, creativity, and resilience. We will show you who we are." The Talrax remained silent for a moment, their ships swirling around the Odyssey, studying, assessing. Then their voice returned, softer but still carrying an air of authority. "Very well. Prove yourselves. We will witness your spirit, your strength, and your resolve. Only then will we determine what comes next." As the communication ended, Kane turned to his crew, a fire igniting in his eyes. "This is our moment. We've faced darkness, and we've emerged stronger. Now we show them who humanity is." Amara felt a surge of determination ripple through her. They had come so far, and now they stood on the brink of a new beginning. Together, they would rise to the challenge, ready to carve their destiny in the stars. With the vast cosmos stretching before them and the promise of a new horizon, the crew of the Odyssey braced themselves for the trials ahead. United as one, they would face the Talrax, prove their worth, and declare their place in the universe. And so, humanity's journey continued, a saga of resilience, discovery, and the unbreakable spirit that would echo through the ages.